What theatre is called chamber, and why are these genres of stage performances becoming more popular in all countries? Watch more details about the first International Festival of Chamber Theatres and its participants in the ProART programme. All performances are different. They are different genres and problems raised in theatre performances. You'll see everything. I do not want to reveal a secret. After all, when they tell me everything, it becomes uninteresting. We empathise and breathe simultaneously with you. One way or another, we disagree on some issues. Andriivskyi Descent in Kyiv is the most important place for the Ukrainian capital, like Montmartre for Paris. It's no coincidence that the International Festival of Chamber Theatres, Andriivskyi Fest, was founded here. The initiator of the new theatrical forum is the staff of the Kyiv academic theatre Koleso, which has been actively working in the festival niche for a long time. Citizens of Kyiv became pioneers of this international theatre direction. There are no such festivals of chamber performances in this format. This genre is today very modern and popular everywhere, not only in Ukraine, but in general across the entire European continent. That's why we decided to hold the first festival and named it Andriivskyi Fest, after the street on which our theatre is located. Theatre staff from different countries presented performances staged in chamber stages. There are many classical and modern works in the programme. They also tell about contemporary Ukraine. According to foreign artists, the audience recognised the festival's participants in the performances. One of them was the Belarusian Youth Theatre, which opened the festival week. It is interesting that there are so many performances that are joint productions. The Belarusians staged a performance based on the play of Ukrainian playwright Natalia Vorozhbit. In 2016, the Belarusians opened their small stage of the youth theatre with the popular work of Natalia Vorozhbit, Sasha, Take Out the Garbage. The project was directed by a colleague of Vorozhbit, the famous Belarusian playwright, Dmitry Bogoslavsky. It's good that we exchange energy. This is the most wonderful and most important thing in the theatre. Theatre is an energy source. Our theatre came to Kyiv for the first time. It is very pleasant that we debuted in Kyiv with this performance, because we primarily want to understand how your spectator will respond to the result of our work. That's why we are very happy to be here. Actors Alexander Pashkevich, Natalia Onyshchenko and Lyubov Putika, led by the director, presented the audience their interpretation of the play Sasha, Take Out the Garbage. This is the story of a Ukrainian family which lost the father and husband. The annotation notes, the setting is modern-day Ukraine, 2014. There is a time to live and there is a time to fight. Let's imagine you are an officer who died of heart failure before the war began. What do you have to do? Sasha believes that death is not an excuse for those who took an oath to the motherland. Sasha, Take Out the Garbage is a chamber performance, which is very strangely represented in Minsk. It is even performed on a small stage. Generally speaking, the director staged a performance in the basement of the theatre. We specially equipped the hall with 46 seats in the basement so that the viewer would walk for a long time along corridors covered with pipes, some ceiling or wall overlays and so on. When I read the play, I immediately brought it to the theatre. I was told, go to a small stage. I replied, it can't be performed on a small stage. It must be a special kind of room that has a specific kind of atmosphere and ambience.
Как стоит? Девочки, не надо! Ты сильно не напрягайся, просто тащи! Зачем? Видишь, как стоит? Девочки, ну не надо! Ты сильно не напрягайся, просто тащи!
There was no way to turn this idea into reality on the stage of the Kyiv academic theatre Koleso, but as the director said, they tried to bring the production as close as possible to the planned format.
Мальчик Коля, не дал мне умереть с горя, внук твой на тебя похож. Да. В следующем году приедем с ним вместе. А сегодня с няней оставили.
At the same time, Natalia touches upon a military conflict. The story takes place in 2014. I believe this is incredibly relevant. We are worried about what is happening to you, and we sympathize and regret, and therefore we are obliged to talk about this at home, because we should not remain silent.
Понимаешь?
Понимаю. Когда я просила, то, конечно, нельзя.
Вообще нельзя, но если 6-я мобилизация.
И как ты себе это представляешь? Что мы тут сейчас всем? Опа, вернулся? Типа что?
Ну сейчас же многие вернутся. Серега, Вовчик, Лешка Чалый. Да весь офицерский состав. Что было же тогда, сейчас же другое дело.
Да кому вы нужны?
Ну как, всем?
It turns out that these days, theatre is becoming acutely social. Therefore, we should not remain silent in some moments. I believe that it was even some kind of our duty to stage this performance. Traditionally, in any theatre, specific actors are assigned and approved for the right role after a launch of a new stage performance, although it was quite different in the case of Dmitry Bogoslavsky. Because we didn't hold any castings, as it used to be done in the theatre. When I was given permission to arrange the performance, I gave the play to several artists. And then we talked, and I realized who would be interested in this material and who would not. Therefore, in this performance, there are no, let's say, superfluous people. Well, I mean those who work there under the whiplash. Quite frankly, this is our personal wish.
Поставь на прощание нашу песню.
The Minsk Youth Theatre is open to new ideas in staging modern drama. However, classic pieces are also included in the works. As a result, experimental performances demanded by the spectator are born right here in this theatre. We have quite a wide repertoire because we have spectators of absolutely different ages. Young, elderly, as well as people in the middle-age category come to our theatre. It's very exciting to see when the older generation comes to watch the contemporary plays of Ivan Vyrypaev and Natalia Vorozhbit. We try to make these plays suitable for the tastes of any spectator. But let's put it this way, we can take classics and transform them into a contemporary play. However, it also depends a lot on the director. Therefore, one should not cry, one should work. So I would summarize it this way.
Не надо плакать, надо работать. Вот я бы так закончил просто.
The program of the International Festival of Chamber Performances is comprised of the most interesting and unordinary performances. Nevertheless, according to the festival curator Irina Klishchevska, the subject of the works made it feel that the theatre staff go to the country where a war is going on. So the Romanians took part in the Chekhov vaudeville play The Proposal as an example for production. It turned out to be a very relevant performance.
Бажаємо вам приємного перегляду.
The subject has naturally appeared. Obviously, this speaks to the heart of people and theatres. I mean, not only Ukraine, Georgia and Romania. What is interesting about Romania? The fact that they took The Proposal and still transferred it to the stage of war. I think this is very important. Not only Ukraine is in a minefield, the whole world is in a minefield. And this is a political farce. My director's performance is quite original, and people will probably thoroughly enjoy it.
Оригинальная и людям, наверное, понравится.
Classics in the non-ordinary interpretation of the modern director Radu Gilas turned out to be a win-win option, acting as an amazing effect of rapprochement with time. Parallels are drawn with the events taking place in the modern world. If there is a chamber performance, then there won't be much theatrical scenery, and many people. Why did I choose Chekhov's vaudeville, The Proposal? We remade it without throwing out anything from Chekhov's original work. We absolutely did not change anything. It seemed to me, at that time, a very modern text, but we remade it into a modern matter. And it turned out a political farce, one could even say, on a military theme.
Манеру, и получилась политическая фарса, даже можно сказать на военную тему.
The performance of the Romanians, despite the fact that the vaudeville was written by Chekhov in the 19th century, looks very modern. It clearly reads metaphors, and the spectator clearly sees parallels with well-known European politicians. This is funny and sad. The Proposal, written by Anton Chekhov, there was such a Chekhov theme, absolutely, an interfamilial and in general a neighbourly theme. And it turned out that they had made an interpretation of the war in general. There are many metaphors. Even at the end, hints became more serious. But the story does not change. That is, what happened in times of Stalin and Hitler is happening today.
Катится до сегодняшнего дня.
Without changing a single author's word in the play, the director and actors managed to build Chekhov's vaudeville in such a way that it is quite obvious to the spectator who is being talked about in the play. After all, it's impossible to retell what you need to feel, or where one needs to guess, Gilas says. And in general, I do not tell about the performances. People should watch the performances themselves. Of course, the spectator can like or dislike it. We work for the spectator. I like the audience. They should leave the theatre happy after a spectacular performance. Whatever the director thinks, and no matter how interesting his idea is, only with the help of actors can it be presented to the spectator. It was easy for Radu Gilas to embody the concept of his performance. After all, he worked with a team of like-minded people, friends, and even with his own personal teacher. I've been working with these actors for a long time. The character Chubukov has been my teacher for 70 years. He's a wonderful actor of the National Theatre. I work with the rest of the actors. Also, there are 2 opera singers who are dogs, and they are playing the violin and the accordion. Probably 3 or 4 performances have already been done with them. In a nutshell, we are working and thinking on the same wavelength. According to press reviews, Ukrainian spectators are very familiar with the team of Romanian actors from the city of Iași. Chernihiv, Dnipro, Kherson and Odessa residents enthusiastically applauded the state-of-the-art production of Radu Gilas, who turned a ridiculous Chekhov vaudeville into a political pamphlet. Thanks to the festival on Andriivskyi Descent, spectators could also enjoy the sparkling humour of this inimitable and engaging performance. Literally everyone knows this work here. Well, a person comes, wants to get married, and then starts to quarrel over the land. And there are different proposals. There are political as well as just ordinary proposals. They begin to quarrel over dogs that are also different. And there are dogs of war with different epaulets. As the synopsis says, the director of Chekhov's vaudeville created a real battle between 2 characters, 2 worldviews. It recognises the real heroes of modern times. Here, the silent characters get the right to vote, becoming the alter ego of their owners. According to critics, the performance of the Romanian theatre was done in a particularly creative way. A super task is the same that all the participants of the festival have to accomplish. They want to achieve love and peace, and that's precisely what I need as a director, what the spectators need, and what all of us common folk need. People used to talk about the fact that the Andriivskyi Descent could have turned into a unique theatre district in Kyiv, and the Andriivskyi Fest is the first step towards bringing such an idea to fruition. It seems to me that I see how beneficial it is. I truly see how people are in such desperate need for information and how much energy is needed for their positive interaction so that they can normally exist in the vast European expanse.